Alex Carey, when did you first pick up a pair of gloves?
Oh, school cricket. Yep. I would open the bowling and then I would wicket keep. So, yeah, I think Dad was coaching, so I tried to do everything.
Bat at 4 and, captain as well?
Open the batting.
Open the batting?
Yeah.
Did anyone else get a go? Who kept to you?
No, I can't remember. No, and that's the thing. I don't really know why wicket keeping started. I think it was just to be involved in the game more. And then out in the backyard, older brother would either bat, Dad would bowl, and then I'd just stand behind the stump. So I think that's probably where it started.
And I'm guessing, given you played in the guts in footy, getting your hand on the ball in footy translated to catching a ball behind the stumps in some kind of roundabout way. So
yeah, we'll go with that. No, I think it's just staying involved in the game. When
Yeah.
you're in the midfield, you're running around. When you're wicket keeping, you're always expecting the ball. So yeah, I think it was just being a part of it and being in the mix.
early wicket-keeping idols.
Gilly, yeah, yep. He was a strong one. Sangakkara as well, just the left-hander.
Yep.
And whenever the Sri Lankans come out and played one-day cricket here, it was great to watch. But Gilly for sure.
Were these wicket-keeping idols because they were good with the gloves, or was it because they played a way that you wanted to with the bat and they happened to be pretty good wicket-keepers as well?
Oh, I think probably drawn to the left-hand batting style. And then you look in the Greg Chappell cricket warehouse and you're looking at keeping gloves. So then you see what Gilly's wearing. And my first pair, I probably should say with Kookaburra, with the Puma, the orange Puma.
Yeah.
Had the pads as well and loved it. So that was one of the best times, I think, was to look through the catalogue and pick out a pair of keeping gloves. You get them and then you smell them, and that leather is just, sticks with you.
You cricketers are weird. You cricketers are weird. You go home and thing that gave you happiness as a kid is smelling your gear.
Well, it brings back memories
Yeah, it
now
does.
anyway.
Nice memories as well. It turned out all right too. What is, as a keeper, because you such a unique role, so what does the preparation look like? Have you got like a checklist that you have to catch this certain amount of balls, you have to do certain things that potentially are going to happen in the match with the gloves?
Yeah, I've got a pretty good routine now, and that developed over a number of years. Worked with different coaching styles, different coaches, and I think eventually you probably get to an age where you work out what's for you. And now with our fielding coach, Bora, around CA, Tim Nielsen was a big influencer, and Brad Haddon through the 2019 World Cup were some guys that I work with closely and still speak to about wicket keeping. So you do, though. You get to an age, I think, in most things in life, right? And you, not to say you work it out, but I think you understand what you need, what works for your body, and then you go to work with it. So I've got a pretty set routine, set of drills that I'll do before a game through pre-season that I think work for me.
So like first day of a test match.
Yep.
You don't know, obviously, if you're going to bowl or not, but there's a big chance that you can bowl.
I know what I'm doing. I'll do the same thing first day. I'll try to catch, unless we're not batting again in the game. Unless we're not keeping again and fielding again in the game, I will catch every morning. And now with Nathan Lyon, he'll bowl every morning as well out in the middle. So I'll make sure that I've got my gear on and I'll get a nicking yellow bat and I'll go out in the middle with him and catch as many balls as I can in the warm-up with Gaz. And then I'll go through my set of drills.
Have you got a target of how much you've got to catch?
No. And I'm not. If I don't, for whatever reason, if it's raining or whatever, I'm not too stressed with missing out. It's not something I have to do, but I want to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, with Gaz and I, I've got a great relationship now, and it is we're first bus to the game, out in the middle, and we're into it.
Yeah. So you're not Rain Man with you. I've got to have 112 balls and all that. With Nathan Lyon, how has that combination evolved from when it started? Did something jump out at you when you first kept to him? You thought, wow, I've got to get used to this. And then it's evolved since?
Played against him quite a bit. Lucky enough to play some one-day cricket with Gaz as well. So you do stand behind the stumps. And I think the relationship just evolves, doing it more, talking more, having the confidence to maybe suggest some things. And when you come into the test team, it can be daunting, the fact you're trying to maybe impress or you're thinking about other things. But now it's just, all right, we're going to catch balls, we're talking about the game, we're discussing batters. He gets a bit of a feel for where I set up behind the stumps, which is a big thing for him as well, with some targets down the wicket. But yeah, I think you just, your relationship grows naturally out the middle in a competition, and you learn a lot about each other. So, and it will still continue to develop, but we're first on the bus, so we get to chat a lot more than others.
Yeah, you talk it through a fair bit. Okay, a technique tip for anyone from a 10-year-old kid who's keeping for the first time all the way through to a 38-year-old bloke whose knees are about to give away and they're just trying to hang on behind the stumps when you're keeping up to the stumps.
I think do it your way, and my techniques changed over the years as well to suit my body type and how I move. I think trying to clear any distractions that come in between the balls and then just focusing wholly on the next ball. Wicket keepers, right, we get judged on probably our errors more than what we do that's good. So letting go of any missed dismissal that does happen in the game of cricket. So let it go, look at it, critique it, don't criticise it, and learn from it. So I think for me, I really enjoy wicket keeping when I'm just worrying about catching the ball and letting go of any other distractions that come in.
Do you watch the ball more intently when you're out there with the bat or when you've got the gloves on? To say Nathan, for instance.
No, I think a bit of both. I think I try to have routines for both. And wicket keeping, I have a bit of a routine where I'll maybe scratch around or scratch my right foot just before I go down, and then it's, watch the ball. And as a batter, it's pretty similar. I might scratch centre and then you switch on. So making sure you do switch off and then switching back on at the right time.
The three fast bowlers, the three famous fast bowlers that you keep to from an Australian cricket perspective right now. So Stark, Hazlewood, Cummins. If you go through each of them, are there idiosyncrasies that you have to change your way that you keep to all three?
Yep, totally. Hoff's just your beautiful outswing, seam the ball back in type bowler, and you can set up a little bit wider to a right-hand batter, knowing that the channel is going to come through, and just a beautiful bowler. Paddy's more hit the wicket, seam the ball back, bit of angle with his action. So potentially he's going to challenge off stump a little bit more, which means balls will end up coming sort of over middle stump, in line with middle stump. So trying to position myself where I can get those balls, but then be ready for the nick when the angles sort of change a little bit. And then Starkey, he's a little bit more all over the shop in a nice way. Is the fact that his skill is bowl fast, swing it in, bowl some short stuff. So I think for him, it's getting in a position where I can react to most balls that come down at me. And he's looking to swing the ball back to the right-hander, so naturally it's going to come back down the line. I'll get some more leg side balls with his shape. So positioning myself for all those guys, but then also making sure I've got my slips in the right position for each of those bowlers, which will change.
That was the nicest way of saying, when I keep to Mitchell Stark, I need to wash my clothes at the end of each day. Definitely, because there's a bit going on there.
I've still got to face him in the net, so I've got to be careful.
Yeah, you don't want to upset him.
He's one of the greats. Yeah.
He is one of the greats. Who are you least likely out of those three to stand up to and disrespect?
Starkey.
Have you ever stood up to
to Greenie?
Yep. How did he take that?
Stood up to Barrel in India.
Yeah.
Greenie didn't like it.
No.
Ness was fine with it, and Baz was fine with it.
But Cameron thought he was quicker.
I think those three, I'll never stand up to the stumps of them.
No, fair enough too. Is there? You are unique. I sit next to a couple of keepers, pretty handy ones, on a regular basis on Willow Talk, and they do love chatting. I don't get that sense about you that you just chat for the sake of talking.
Nah. To the opposition or just generally?
Just generally.
No, I don't. And I think I try to stay in, I guess, a mindset where I focus on my game and then potentially switch off by, listening to the chatterboxes in the slips. We've had a few since I've been there.
Who's incessant at the moment with the chat? between balls?
Well, if Marnus is at third and Smudge is at second, it's a bit of trouble. And then Uzi's now jumped into the armchair, so Davey's now obviously moved on, but he was great for a discussion or some ideas. Smudge just has so many ideas coming to his head.
Yeah.
And then up to the stumps, there might be Trav around the bat or Marnus, and I don't have to waste my words out there with those guys.
No, you don't. But Hads does say that the energy in the field needs to come from the keeper. Would you agree with that summation?
Yeah, I do. I think the energy is also led by the bowling attack, and the effort that they're giving it's infectious as well. So, I've never felt like I've had to drive the energy. I think it comes naturally to this group. We are a very experienced playing group. We're a good playing group. So generally we know what's happening in the game, and we can find ways to either get back into the game or stay on top. So I reckon the energy comes naturally. I think for me is when I'm running up to the stumps, moving well with my legs, getting around the guys when you need to, and not sort of manufacturing that. And I don't feel like I've needed to much in this group anyway.
Post-series, and you wicket-keepers, you're a bit like goalkeepers in football, a bit different. You do a different role. Do you, with the exception perhaps of one famous case in recent times, do you try to seek out the opposition wicket-keeper and have a yak and chew the fat and swap some stories?
I think naturally it does happen. Yeah, I had a really good chat with Tom Blundell in New Zealand. Great guy, and you just, after the series, you catch up and you have a beer and you just talk about potentially the conditions we both, kept in. And I felt like New Zealand was quite difficult too. Some of the wickets and the ball that swings after and the glare of sight screens and just all these little things that not everyone picks up on. You sort of ask, did you feel that as well? And then I did. So you're like, oh, that's good. So
just keep a nerd stuff.
Yeah,
basically.
That's it.
Yeah.
But no, you do naturally tend to have a chat with him. You respect, I think, the position that they're in. And it's who do we have? Josh De Silva last year. You have a chat to him, and Rizwan loves a chat. So naturally you do drift off to the keepers and have a chat.
Well, this forthcoming India series, there's every chance that Rishi Pant's going to behind the stump. So good luck getting a word in there.
Nah, that's it. He loves a chat. He actually captained me at Delhi a couple of years ago. So he's a great guy, lovely guy, and it's great to see him back playing cricket.
Yeah, it is. It's awesome. Unrelated question.
Yep.
Do believe between the brief time between footy and cricket for you, there was a little foray into financial planning.
Yep.
Was there not?
Yeah, there was.
Who would, if you went down that path with that career, who would least need your advice? Who is really good with their money, really switched on?
Pat Cummins, switched on, got a lot of it, wouldn't need much help. Starkey's probably the same. Well, actually, you might need a broker now. Mortgage broker. No, I reckon Paddy's all over it. Yeah, yep. He's a smart guy on and off the field. He's into his crypto, which I don't know much about, but
no, that's delving into the unknown.
Yeah,
surely.
he should be right. Most of these guys are okay. I think Trav would probably need the most help.
Well, I was just about to say, okay, the total flip side is who is in dire need of a little bit of handy advice.
Nah, not many of the boys, but they're pretty smart. I think Trav loves some toys. He's got a nice shiny car at the moment.
Did he
nice house.
Did he lease it or buy it?
No, I don't know. But no, he's flying as well, actually, so he's doing well.
Yeah.
But no, the boys pretty switched on. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I think Marnus, I think Beck looks after that, which is probably handy as well.
He's too busy.
He's too much coffee. He'd spend a lot of money on coffee.
He's too busy with his bloody bats as well.
That's it, yeah. He gets them for free, thankfully.
Alex Carey, thanks for the chat, mate.
Cheers.
Yeah, thanks for watching the Willow Talk podcast on YouTube. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't have to miss an episode wherever you are. And while you're at it, check out these videos up here. They're mostly good.